Okay. All right. So first of all, I want to start with a prayer. I don't normally do that while I'm live, but I'm going to do that right now. So make sure you guys are sharing this out. Make sure that you guys are hitting the likes on this. So, dear Heavenly Father, you are always near to us, especially when we are weak, we're suffering, we're hurting physically, mentally, emotionally. We ask that you reach out to us, surround us with your love, lift our burdens and calm our anxiety and quiet our fears, and surround us with your healing presence, Lord, that we may know that we are not alone. I ask that you be here with us. In your Son, Jesus Christ's name I ask. Amen. All right. So welcome in, everyone. You have no idea. Thank you, darling. What I do to be prepared for tonight, which I'll tell you what, is not really much. Tonight, I want to talk about anxiety and panic attacks. Who in here has anxiety and panic attacks? Put a 1. There's a couple of us. Yeah, I do too. That's awesome. So I want to talk about, and I printed them off. I want to talk about anxiety and panic attacks, what anxiety is, what the symptoms may include, and what the 3-3-3 rule for anxiety is. Does anyone know what the 3-3-3 rule for anxiety is? If you do, put a 2 in the chat. If you know what the 3-3-3 rule for anxiety is, put a 2 in the chat. Wow, we have someone that does. That is awesome. It's been a while, he says. All right, well, we'll get to that too. So don't you worry. I will set that up. So, or explain that, I should say. That is in my way. There we go. All right, so first of all, I would like to talk about anxiety and panic attacks before I go into what the rules are on that, right? So anxiety is when you feel worried, you're tense, you're afraid, particularly about things that are about to happen or you think are about to happen. Xanax. Some people take that, yes. Sometimes about what we think is going to happen in the future type deal. Or what, for instance, if somebody has a medical exam coming up, they might feel anxiety. Exactly. They might have a panic attack because they know it's coming. It's like, oh, I don't want to go to the doctor, but I have to. My husband actually has that, believe it or not. He denies having it, but he does. Doesn't like doctors. So I want to tell you that anxiety is a natural human response when we feel that we are under threat. And it can be experienced through our thoughts, our feelings, and physical sensations. So what kind of symptoms do you think anxiety may include? What kind of symptoms do you think anxiety includes? Hyperventilating, yes. Chest pains, yeah. Sweating, oh yeah. Just get all those sweats. No, I get that. Blacking out. Sometimes it's simple like, yep, anxious heart, palpable sweaty palms, dry mouth, exactly, dizziness. Yep, sweating, yep. Sometimes also trouble concentrating. Has anyone ever had trouble concentrating, maybe on simple things? Yeah. Just zone out, or you just, no, well, that's good. I'm glad you don't. I do. I all the time have trouble concentrating. Sometimes anxiety can also be having trouble making decisions. That I don't. I can make really good decisions. May take me a little bit. I gotta think about it. Yes, easy thoughts can become messy. That's correct. Feeling irritable. Now, some people say, well, women are on their, PMS in it, right? It's not always that. It's not always our PMS. It might be anxiety or panic attacks because we have that irritable feeling. Maybe we're tense or we're restless, and thoughts can very well get exaggerated. Exactly, Lori. Exactly. Yes. Sometimes we feel nauseous, feel so sick to our stomach. Maybe our abdominal, our stomach just is all gurgly or whatever inside. We're like, oh, I'm just going to throw up, right? And so I mentioned the heart palpitations. Boom, boom, boom. There are times that I feel like my heart is just going to explode. Sometimes Pepto doesn't take care of that, though. Not always. When my heart just, does that boom, 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 boom in my chest, sometimes I feel it's going to come right through my rib cage and just explode. Then someone also mentioned sweating. There's also trembling, shaking. Now, trouble sleeping I don't have. I can shut everything off and go to sleep. But as long as I have music, I can do that. Some people for anxiety has that sense of impending danger or panic or doom, right? So these are all symptoms that they may include. There might be more. Everyone is different. Yeah, when it does happen, you have to change your thought process, but you have to think about change your thought process. And sometimes you can't focus to think to change your thought process. That's why I'm hoping people take notes and go, oh, well, Llewellyn talked about that. Llewellyn talked about that. Llewellyn talked about that. Sorry. Sometimes I say it 3 times just because I want you to understand. Sometimes Llewellyn talked about that and I wrote it down or I knew what she said. Thank you. So someone wrote, this is what someone wrote, it's not me. For me, anxiety feels as if everyone in the world is waiting for me to trip up so they can laugh at me. It makes me feel nervous and unsure whether the next step I take is the best way forward. Does anyone feel like they are being watched? Someone is just watching and you feel like if you do this, you might fail. And so if you do that, they're going to laugh at you. I feel that way. Does anyone else? Oh, I know you do, Matthew. We've talked. And so when this person wrote that the anxiety feels if everyone in the world is waiting for me to trip up so they can laugh at me. Sometimes I feel that. I mean, sometimes, like those negative ants, right? We talked about ants. What are ants, Matthew? What are ants, you guys? You guys should know what ants are by now. We've been talking about it for a couple of months. What is ants? Sometimes those ants just, well, that's great that you don't. So, I don't know. Maybe you can automatic negative thought syndrome. Correct. Yes. So when we get the ants in our head, sometimes it kind of coincides with our anxiety and increases our negative thoughts. It increases our heart palpitations because now, oh my stars, I thought about this. Now all of a sudden it expanded. And how do I handle that? Well, that's what I want to talk about is how do we handle the anxiety? People always talk about the fight, flight, or freeze response. Has anyone ever done any of those 3? Well, hopefully this will help. Fight, flight, or freeze response. Has anyone, put a 1 in the chat if you have done any of those 3? Fight, flight, or freeze. I have. Yeah, 9 times out of 10, I freeze. I'm just frozen in fear. And I'm like, oh God, what do I do? So you fight. Yeah. I didn't learn to fight. And that's where I struggle. I did not learn how to do that because I was so beaten down being abused that I just freeze. I don't do anything. I think if I freeze, nobody will see me and they'll leave me alone. And that's what I have done is I freeze because of the abuse that I endured. I have had to struggle to learn how to fight. And even to this day, I still struggle to fight for me. And I didn't know if this topic would be something that you guys would want to listen to or anything. And so I took a real chance. But if you could put in the notes, on our group chat or on my YouTube channel here, if you could put in the chats or the mental health group live on Clapper or notes here on YouTube, what you need help with, what you need to learn more. And you're right, Matthew, I do fight every day. And I didn't realize, and that's what I wanted to explain, is even though I froze, I still fought to live every day. I fought to live. And I didn't realize I was doing that. I thought that I was weak, that I was a nobody, that I didn't matter because I would just freeze. And I'd kind of like protect my head or kind of like put dark clothes on so nobody would recognize me or look at me, because I was not worthy enough. And I fought every single day to get out of there. Now I wear colored clothes, not all dark clothes anymore. So I'm not blending in the background like I used to. And I'm hoping that you guys don't either. I hope that we all somehow stand out because we are worthy. You are worthy. You are enough just as you are. And it's okay to have all these negative thoughts. It's not okay to follow through with them. It's okay to have them and learn how to fight them. And we all fight every day, correct? So when we feel under threat, our bodies react by releasing certain hormones such as adrenaline or cortisol, which can be helpful. What is it like for you to have these fight, flight, or freeze responses? Hi, Noodles. Welcome in. Yes, I cheated. I looked it up. This is not my information. I found it online, guys. I can. Oh, my stars. Stay. There we go. So with the cortisone, our adrenaline, what does it make us? What does that adrenaline do for us? What does your adrenaline do for you? Keeps us alive. How does it keep you alive? What does it do? Makes you react. Okay. How does it make you react? Okay, force you to try to slow your thoughts. Excuse me. Sometimes it can make us feel more alert, like we're ready for attack, right? So we're like, okay, so I'm more alert. I'm looking around. So that way maybe I can act faster to tighten senses and nervous systems. Yeah. Also sometimes makes our heart beat faster. Oh, heightens. Okay. Yep, on point, on edge. Makes our heart beat faster. Sending blood to where it needs to go most, right? So the adrenaline is getting that rush going for us, right? So after we feel the threat has passed, our bodies release another hormone that helps our muscles relax. And this can sometimes cause us to shake, because we were so tightly wound up and all of a sudden it's like release. We're like, okay. And this reaction is commonly called the fight, flight, or freeze response. It's something that happens automatically in our bodies, and we really have no control over that tightening, that, as he mentioned, the heightened of it. So someone else said this. I didn't, someone else did. It says, going out of the house is a challenge because I have a fear of panicking and feel that I'm being watched or judged. It's just horrible. I want to get help, but I'm afraid of being judged. Put a 1 in the chat room if you've ever felt scared of being judged, or you still feel scared of being judged. I do. Thanks for the follow. Yeah. It's a normal reaction, but we have to remember that we are worthy, that we are enough. You are worthy. You are enough. You are. And it's going to take time. It's going to take time for all of us. There's something that I am looking into. It says that you don't want to give a lot of positive affirmations in the very beginning of after being whatever, in my case, abused, PTSD, whatever the case is, because it's like it's going to be really slick and all the words are just going to wash away. So I'm looking into that to find out exactly how to make them stick in our minds, in our hearts. No, their judgment doesn't change your worth. But we think it does until we know better. But until then, we think it does. So, question. When is anxiety a mental health problem? When is anxiety a mental health problem? Exactly. The minute it starts affecting your life. Because if you're not living your life as fully as you want, then you have a problem. Exactly. Affects your day-to-day. So it might be a problem if your feelings of anxiety are very strong or last for a very long time. Your fears or worries are out of proportion to the situation. I'm guilty of that one. You avoid situations that might cause you to feel anxious. I'm guilty of that one. Your worries feel very distressing or are hard to control. You regularly experience symptoms of anxiety, which could actually include a panic attack. It might be an end result of a panic attack. And then find it hard to go about your everyday life and do things that you truly enjoy. So those are just 6 examples. There might be more. There may be more. I'm not a professional. Let me start this because I forgot to say this in the beginning. I am not a professional. I am not a counselor. I am not a therapist. I am not a doctor. I cannot prescribe medication or diagnose anyone. So giving you all this information is just me finding information online and sharing it with you. I'm in no way professional. Just letting you know. So if your symptoms fit a particular medical criteria, then you might be diagnosed with a particular anxiety disorder. But it's also possible to experience problems with anxiety without having a specific diagnosis. So this is where self-care comes in. When you have self-care, you're learning how to take care of yourself. You're learning how to love yourself. You're learning that there are certain things that you can do to help take care of yourself, to help, I don't want to say completely eliminate, but to at least lessen your anxiety attacks, I guess you want to call them, right? So someone else wrote this. You know that feeling when you're rocking on the back legs of your chair and suddenly for a split second you think you're about to fall? That feeling in your chest? Imagine that split second feeling being frozen in time and lodged in your chest for hours and days. And imagine with it that sense of dread sticking around, but sometimes you don't even know why. Sometimes I felt that way. Sometimes. Oh. Ouch. All right. So now we're going to talk about the 3-3-3 rule for anxiety. So you can use the 3-3 rule of anxiety, but before I do, let me ask this question. Do we have any questions right now of what I've already gone over? Any questions on any of that right now before I go to the 3-3-3 rule for anxiety? Four? What's four? Okay, if you have questions, please put them in the chat. I promise I'll get to them as soon as I can, but put your questions in the chat. All right, so you can use the 3-3-3 rule for anxiety in the moment that something triggers you. And here's what you do. You need to look around, identify 3 objects, whatever they are, identify 3 objects. Then you want to identify 3 sounds. There's your second 3. Then you want to move 3 body parts. So there's your 3-3-3. So 3 objects, 3 sounds, 3 body parts, right? Now, many people find this strategy helps focus and ground them when anxiety seems overwhelming. Me, I do a tapping, and I can do the tapping later, but right now we're talking about 3-3-3 rule. So again, the first 3 is finding 3 objects. The second 3 is the sounds, and the third 3 is body parts. You got to move your body parts. So the 3-3-3 rule is a common and informal technique for coping with anxiety. Its purpose is to help you ground yourself and calm down in a moment where you are feeling particularly anxious or overwhelmed. I have a question. It's not on here. So my question to you, do you really think that you can do the 3-3-3 rule method of anxiety when you're feeling overwhelmed or very anxious? Nope. Yes, it's hard. Yeah, it is hard. Sometimes I just wish I had a panic button on my brain that could reach out to someone. I'm going to use Matthew as an example because he was the last one that made a comment, and say, hey, Matthew, Llewellyn needs you to, call her or something like that. Just have that automatic going, oh, hey, Llewellyn, how you doing? And all of a sudden it's like, okay, I'm touching my phone. I'm moving my hands. Okay, I'm good now. You know what I mean? I just wish there was something that could contact someone. But music, sunglasses, and early morning shopping. Well, that's a plus of usually thinking about it right before going over the edge. Don't go all the way over. So back to my 3-3-3. So its purpose is to help you ground yourself. Like I said, calm down that moment, right? So the 3-3-3 rule involves looking around your current environment, naming 3 things that you see, 3 sounds that you hear, and either touching 3 things or moving 3 parts of your body, limbs, objects, whatever the case is. While there is no formal research into the effectiveness of the 3-3-3 rule, many people find it to be helpful and simple technique to be a helpful and simple technique to handle anxiety. Although it won't completely get rid of your anxiety, it can be a useful tool to manage it in the moment. Now, the 3-3-3 rule is not a substitute for treatment, no matter how helpful it may be to you or how frequently you use it. And I'm not going to read the rest of that because that's if you want it online, what they tell you to do online. All distracting the senses of anxiety in the moment. Pretty much, yeah. Trying to keep that paper up. There we go. So, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. It lists 9 coping techniques that using the 3-3 rule can include. So, does anyone have any idea what these 9 coping techniques might be before I go over them? Hi, Nate. Welcome in. Anyone have any idea? Stay in bed. No. Yeah, there's 9. You don't have to name all 9. Just do like one, Stay at home. Welcome in over here on my YouTube channel. Why don't you be kind and say hi? It's that way. For what? Focus on an object. Meditation. Do dishes, do stretches, reach out and talk to someone. Do you really do that? Do you really reach out and talk to someone? It's okay. Okay, good. Let's do. All right, so the first one that they have here is called Take a Time Out. Blare music in the head and zone out. Oh, God. I'd go deaf. So taking a time out, it says remove yourself from the situation and do something different, like listening to your favorite music, like he said, or doing some stretching, like someone else said right there. So take a time out. What does a timeout look like for you? What does a timeout look like for you? Write it down. Go for a walk alone. Okay. Soaking in the tub, walking in the woods or beach. Okay. Go sit in a quiet room. My whole house is quiet except for the animals. Go to the backyard with dogs. Read a book. Okay, good. There's no wrong answers, guys. These are just what you would do for your timeout. Oh, the gas prices are horrible. I know. I used to love driving out in the country. I live in the country, but I still love driving in the country and just zoning out without zoning out, if you know what I mean. Because you still have to be alert for driving. Getting lost in a story. Yeah. All right. So the second one is called minimize alcohol and caffeine intake. I don't drink. And the only caffeine I have is my Pepsi. Does that count? I mean, but it says that both alcohol and caffeine can make anxiety worse and cause mood shifts. I don't think I'm moody. I could be. Just don't know. Nope. 100 cups of coffee in 2 weeks. Oh, my stars. I think it's a little bit overboard on that. Just saying. Oh, my stars, you guys. Okay, well, I have one here. The third one on the list here. I want to know who does this one. Laughs more. Who laughs? When you are trying to use your coping techniques, who laughs? Oh, good grief. It's a lot of Keurigs. I'm guilty, but I don't. But I realize the technique that they have over here now is the fact that when you laugh, your brain thinks that you're happy, so now it's going to change the mood. Oh, God, I love babies laughing. So tonight, my youngest daughter called me. Of course, you know that she doesn't live in state here with me. She's all the way on the other side of the country. And I got to talk to my grandson who is 6. And he is just the sweetest little boy. And he says, Mammy, can you buy me some toys? And my daughter says, honey, Mammy doesn't have any money. He goes, well, she can make it for me. My heart's starting to melt, just listen to this. And I says, well, what do you want, sweetheart? He goes, I don't know. He goes, can you do this? And I went, no. Can you do that? I went, no. Can you do this? I went, no. I says, but I can make a checkerboard and checkers. And he goes, well, I don't know what that is, Mammy, but I know it'll be okay. It'll be great. I just melted that. Just the little things like that. Talking to a child and just, welcome in. It just warms my heart listening to my grandson talk like that, love it. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Now we're on the 4th one, right? This one says take care of your body. So it says make sure you get enough sleep and eat balanced meals. I so do not eat balanced meals, guys. I hate vegetables. So I don't exercise. I really probably don't get enough sleep. And I don't eat healthy. It is expensive. Yeah, exactly. What's that? What's a balanced meal? It is expensive. I don't know what that sleep thing is because I don't get enough of it. But we need to start doing that. Even if we have to start growing our own, go get seeds. Seeds are cheap. Go get seeds. Have like a raised bed on the back porch or something. Exactly. I don't either. It is. I don't care what your source of income is. It is expensive. It really is. Noodles. That's funny. It's this thing where you have a bed and you have a pillow on the back of your head and you lay there. You have blankets covered up and your eyes are closed and your whole body is just relaxed. Yeah, I don't know. Sure, you can sleep on the couch. I don't see why not. My husband sleeps in the recliner. Oh, a choking hazard thing. Oh, heavens, no, I hope not. All right, so the next one is try mindfulness. Who here knows what the mindfulness is that I talk about for what they talk about, I should say? Balance your burger on your lap. Oh, my stars. What is it? You said you do. What is it? Mindfulness. What is mindfulness to you? I have the app on Google Play and watch it on that. What? What are you talking about? Excuse me. What is mindfulness to you? Before I read it off my sheet over here. For you guys, it's over there. Mindfulness program for mental awareness. Oh, mindfulness to me is watching how I talk to myself and treat myself. Okay, all right. That works. Oh, your therapist for the brain injury told you about it. Okay. I never heard that they even had an app like that. It's kind of cool. So on my sheet of paper, it says mindfulness involves focusing on the present moment and the feelings passing through you. I'll repeat that. Mindfulness involves focusing on the present moment and the feelings passing through you. Sometimes my feelings just stop. It's like they hit a brick wall and they stop, and it just explodes in my mind because there's like way too much feeling in there. Way too much. Not really. Mindfulness is that too. You're not off. Because the feelings that we have sometimes reverts to words that we hear about ourselves, and we talk about ourselves and talk to ourselves. It can all lead back to everything. And here's something, we have to be careful what we say to ourselves, especially if we have children. My 8-year-old granddaughter overheard me talking bad about myself. All right, thanks for coming in. And she looked at me straight-faced, said, "Mammy, that's not true." She says, "God loves you. God made you perfect the way you are." I'm teaching her good. And we need to watch that. We don't want our kids talking about themselves that way. So why are we talking about ourselves that way in front of our children? Or in my case, grandchildren. Don't do it. All right, next one. Pay attention to your breathing. Use breath work, which refers to different breathing techniques that can help reduce anxiety and stress. Or as my granddaughter calls it, you want to smell the flowers and blow out the candles. That's what she says. She got it from reading one of her kid books in 2nd grade, no less. I thought it was kind of cute. So make sure you pay attention to your breathing. Sorry, I thought it was a spider. Oh my gosh, this freaks me out. It is. Breathing is very important to anxiety. Thank you for sharing that. The next one is meditate. Practice meditation to calm and recenter your body and mind. Now, in my book, it has that in there about centering yourself. Does anyone remember me reading about that in my book? I'm not going to go over my book right now, but I just want to let you know that it is in my book about centering yourself, about focusing on recentering your body and mind. And if you can just sit, just sit and be and meditate on just being, that is important. We're on number 8, lower stress. I don't know about y'all, but there's no way I can lower stress in this world. Just saying. Not in my little world anyways. It's like way too much stress. But it says try other stress reduction exercises like Tai Chi or yoga. I'm sorry, but that takes money. I don't have money. Time? Who has time? Time is one of the 2 most important things you need for either Tai Chi or yoga. Yeah, good luck with that. Exactly. Yep, it's still there. So we have to learn how to deal with it. We can't always lower it, but we can learn how to deal with it. And that will be another topic altogether. So the last one, like I said, there were 9, is ease physical tension. So this is, and I have to thank Matthew for that, because I went out and I bought me a massage gun, and I have my husband, use it, especially on my shoulders and neck, and it helps. So ease physical tension. So consider trying massages, or I don't like acupuncture, but some people say it it works good to help also address physical tension, anxiety, which creates in your body. I get myself busy by cleaning, cooking, whatever else that needs to be done. The gun does. Yeah, I don't like acupuncture, though. No prescription for stress or getting rid of stress. No prescriptions. Remember, I am not a doctor. I cannot diagnose, nor can I prescribe medication. Sorry, can't help you. All right, so these coping strategies may also fall under the lifestyle changes treatment that people have for the approaching for anxiety. Ooh, candlelight, chocolate. Oh my God, chocolate is like my go-to for when I'm really stressed, which I have some chocolate cake out there. I may have to go get me some. Yeah. All right. So let's take a look here. Do you put it on your face or on your nose or on your fingers and get the wax off? Coloring's good. Hey, don't forget, I have a coloring book on Amazon. It's a kid one, but it's a coloring book. Anyway, so moving on. So when anxiety becomes overwhelming or it feels like it might be chronic, it says it can interfere with your ability to function. Has anxiety ever played a part in your life where it just interfered with your ability to function in daily life? Yeah, me too. Yeah. So it says it can interfere with your ability to function in daily life and lower your overall quality of life as a result. Ouch! I don't want to lower anything. Oh, my stars. It said it can lead to avoiding responsibilities, guilty, activities, guilty, and people. Oh, wait, guilty again. Can also cause tension at work, school, and home. I don't work outside of home, and I don't go to school, so I guess everything's at home for me. Boy, I'm really in trouble if that's the case. Oh, my goodness. So it says, according to the National Institute of Mental Health, common anxiety disorders include your general anxiety disorder, or GAD, is a general persistent feeling of anxiety. You have your panic disorder, which is with social anxiety. You may have a strong, persistent fear of being judged or observed by others, which may impair your ability to be in social situations. Panic disorder is when you have frequent and recurring panic attacks. And then there is the phobia-related disorders that involve irrational fear of a specific thing, and these include agoraphobia, arachnophobia, and claustrophobia. Oh, I'm claustrophobic. Lord help me. I hate having anything. Ugh. Anyway, so how do you treat anxiety? Oh, so do I. I don't care if it's family or not. I still can't be in large groups. In the first and second one, GAD and panic, or GAD and social, I mean, yeah. So how do we treat it? How do we treat anxiety? You hide in empty space and cry? Okay. You go to bed. Oh, you sleep. Okay. That's hiding, but okay. I would fall if I was to shower in the dark or even with a flashlight. No, it's not healthy to go to bed and sleep it off, but it's what you do. That's how you cope. That is your coping mechanism for it. You try to exhaust it. So this here says, therapy, medication, and lifestyle changes are considered. Turn the page. The GOLD therapy is an effective treatment to many different types of anxiety. Did I read that right? Okay. According to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, types of therapy that can be helpful for dealing with anxiety can include. Oh, I see. Yeah, I guess sitting under the water and crying is not considered a regular shower, but I'd still probably fall. Yeah, exercise, work, walk, run. Yep. So you have your cognitive behavior therapy. So CBT focuses on identifying, understanding, and changing thought and behavior problem or patterns. Has anyone tried the CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy? I haven't. I bought a book about it. Maybe I'll have to look into it more. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I haven't tried CBT either. The next one is called exposure therapy. In exposure therapy, you will be slowly exposed to a feared situation to help the fear response diminish over time. No, just saying. This girl's not doing exposure therapy. Thank you very much. Exactly. No. So it says there's types of therapy that can be helpful for dealing with anxieties can include exposure therapy. Exposure therapy. In exposure therapy, you'll be slowly exposed to a feared situation to help the fear response diminish over time. No, I don't think this girl's going to do it. See? Nope, not happening. All right, we'll skip that one. So the next one is called acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT. This type of therapy uses strategies of living in the moment and refraining from judgment, along with behavior change to cope with anxiety. I'm going to read it again because I don't think I even understood it. This type of therapy uses strategies of living in the moment and refraining from judgment, along with behavior change to cope with anxiety. Exactly. I live in the moment. So, refraining from judgment, I don't know if that means that I refrain from judging others or if I refrain from feeling others are judging me. I'm not sure about that one. Along with behavior change to cope with anxiety. I'm going to say no. The next one is dialectal behavior therapy, or DBT. DBT combines CBT, again, that's cognitive behavior therapy, techniques with meditation concepts. Well, I do meditation, so DBT to me, I could probably do for meditation when I have time. Do I have time? Not really, but I try. Sometimes what I do is I veg out on Netflix or Hulu or whatever the case is. Then you have the interpersonal therapy. Now, the interpersonal therapy, right, is a short-term supportive talk therapy that focuses on resolving interpersonal or relational problems. My husband says I talk too much. So I think I'm good on that one. Anyone else like the interpersonal therapy or not like it? No, you do? I wouldn't imagine you talking a bit. Just a little bit? Oh, okay. Well, that's awesome. Interpersonal therapy is a short-term supportive talk therapy that focuses on resolving interpersonal or relational problems. Does anyone do that? Interpersonal therapy. You're not shy. I would never have known that about you. A little. Okay. The next one is, okay, that I believe. I believe that you are shy, Tank. I believe that. The next one is called eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, or EMDR, which EMDR uses bilateral stimulation through eye movements, tapping, or tones to help heal from past experiences. Now, I mentioned tapping before, and I do tapping. To give you an example, I tap. There's more of a technique to it than just that, by the way. Just let you know. So I do the EMDR. I don't really use my eyes, though, as much as I do the tapping. If anyone ever sees me do something like this, not the hair, it's because I need to have that skin-to-skin contact like a child, newborn. I need that, and I'm trying to calm myself down. And I sometimes don't realize I'm doing it, and I just start doing it. No, that's fine. No, and that's true, Matthew. You only talk about certain things with certain people because you trust them. So for me, this right here is a telltale sign that I'm feeling anxious or nervous, or I just need to calm myself down because I need to have that skin contact. And 9 times out of 10, I don't even realize I'm doing it. They talk about medication is typically used along with therapy for best possible outcome. I do not have any myself, and I'm not going to say it's good or bad to anyone. I mean, it's up to you. It's your choice. It's your body. You know you. If you feel you need it, get it. If you feel you can do without it, then don't do it. I mean, I'm no doctor, so I can't tell you one way or the other. I am not a psychologist, no psychiatrist, or nothing like that. So if you feel you need medication, I'm not going to judge you. Get it. If you feel you don't, I'm not going to judge you. Don't do it. It's up to you. Totally up to you. Some people use antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications, or beta blockers. Exactly. Meds are case by case. It all depends on you. It says anxiety can significantly impact your life, especially if it becomes a severe chronic issue. I'm going on the last page, which is probably a good thing. I'll just hold it. So it involves looking around your environment to identify the 3 objects and 3 sounds, right? 3 objects, 3 sounds, 3 body parts. Many people find this strategy helps focus and ground them when anxiety overwhelms them. So if your anxiety is constant or interfering in multiple areas of your life, you may need more than temporary coping strategies. Anxiety disorders can be treated with medication, therapy, and lifestyle changes. That is totally up to you how you want to do that. No judgment here, folks. If you're experiencing anxiety symptoms regularly or with severe, talk with your doctor. Not me, because I'm not a doctor. They can help connect you with the right mental health resources, blah, 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 blah. I won't go over that. So before I bring Matthew up, are there any questions that you may have over the 3-3-3 rule, over the anxiety, anything like that we've touched on? Any questions? Yes, please reach out to a professional if needed. Do not come to me because I am no professional. I'm not a doctor. All right, so put a 1 in the chat room if you've learned something tonight. Put a 1 in the chat room if you have learned something tonight as I go ahead and I end my YouTube live.